All right, wow. That was fun. I'm curious how far ahead we were. How far ahead were we? 30 points. I mean, 30 points. I'm a Dawn player. She's not. It makes sense. It was good. It was good. We have a lot to talk about. So let's hop on the call. Awesome. So this was a good game. I thought
I hope
this was
so.
good.
Oh man, I am. It's both a blessing and a curse. I'm used to like having enough time to think and not get freaked out by time controls, but that also last time led to a game that lasted like 2 hours, and that was way too long.
True. True. It's important to manage the time. Trying to
Yeah,
use the thinking when it counts. Endgame isn't the biggest time crunch ever, so I think you had pretty good time management.
good.
Hey Burgles, thanks for the stream. Well, hopefully we can get you we can all learn something and you can increase your Go knowledge. So I liked the game, Hales. Did you have any questions in particular before I go through it? Did you have any sticky spots?
Um, I mean, it's tough to like look at a big life and death situation like we had on that left side there,
Mm,
and really point to anything in particular. I know there were I admittedly had the Joseki thing from OGS pulled up on the side, but and Joseki doesn't matter. I don't know. Play management, what I maybe didn't need to respond to, what might have been considered slack moves. That's what I'm really been trying to focusing on lately.
sure.
So
Yeah. Um, so we can just go through it. And
yeah, absolutely.
yes, I'm a super global thing. I don't like talking about individual moves. Like talking about individual moves, which one is the best, kind of bores me. But what I love is the big picture type stuff. So I'm
Well,
probably
and
gonna be framing my stuff like that.
that's perfect.
If that's
That's
okay.
perfect. Yeah, absolutely.
um,
That's perfect.
yeah. I literally some of my Go friends they'll just talk about move variations for hours, and I'm just like, I can't I can't do this. I can't do this. I'm
Yeah.
dying.
Now,
So
what I've definitely been trying to focus on is like if I don't need to respond, try to find the big spot and seize it. So
mhm.
yes, global is good.
Cool. So right away, this move is probably the only move I'll be like, this is a slack move type of thing. You're probably just gonna want to play here.
Okay.
Did you have any particular idea in mind with this move?
Just that A, I don't know Joseki, and B, I'm likely to play more conservative when I don't know Joseki and am scared that I'm gonna get punished.
Oh, I mean, do you not know this?
I mean, I do now.
Oh, cool. So this is the first one I ever learned.
I, I, I think I do. I just, yeah.
Okay,
Once,
yeah.
once I played that Slack move, then it's just like, oh god, I don't know what comes next. So,
I just tried to play the normal move anyway, just to make
yeah,
things easy. Um, there's probably an argument for playing here,
that's what I was expecting, or something like that. Yeah.
but that's good for white. That's pretty good for white. So I didn't
Okay.
want to do that. I thought I'd play the less good move for white and just keep things super simple so you could do your two space.
Okay.
But in reality, it should look like this is
Okay.
the normal
Thank
way.
you.
Just black is a little further out, still connected, everything's fine. It's just just a little bit more efficient.
Sure.
Um, I'm gonna be honest, I barely know any Joseki either, at all. I can't tell you if what the best thing is, or if this was a good response or not. I was just like, that seems fine.
Yeah, it
Okay,
was fine.
it seems fine. You're protecting your
You made your
corner.
base. Yeah.
It's all
Yeah.
good. Are there other responses to this? There's pincers, which are weird. There's this, which is the super, um, like a very simple, almost like this, but on the third line. It's a really simple way of doing things. Um, but this is fine too. The thing that this lets white do at some point is this into here. So that knight's move invites the attach into this, which could let white shore up like a base pretty easily. So
Okay.
then you played here, everything's fine, it's all good. You do remember this Joseki, so that's good. We Atari here, you defend, I defend, you go there, I go there. Okay, and everything is fine from this point. I don't like invading the 3-3. Not a fan. I know AI does it all the time, but I don't do well playing against influence. I like to be the one making influence. So I prefer to be on the outside all the time. But I decided to invade just to see what you would do. My
So
hope
the
was
one
that,
question
yeah,
sorry, the one question I do have here was the direction of play of this Joseki correct?
yes, I was hoping,
Okay.
yeah. So this is like a mini test. I was like, I am hoping that you make a wall facing my weak group and then attack it. And that's exactly what you did. So
Good.
very nice. However, do you know the AI version of this?
No, I'm old school.
Okay. I will advocate for AI in this situation
It's
because it gives you
017.
Sente.
Is it 017?
Yes.
Okay.
And then you can do this.
Okay.
This forces a sequence where white loses Sente. And that's important in this situation because the whole reason you're making this wall is to be able to extend and attack white while developing at the same time. But if you give white Sente, I'm just going to make my group safe in Sente and then defend my group.
Okay.
And you still attacked, but it wasn't as severe as it could have been.
Okay.
So next. Sure, everything's good. I like that. It's a little bit better than just like defending. It's a little more active. And now I went here. And it's classic, like, oh, I have a wall. I want to make another wall. To make the honey pot that I love. This is my favorite thing to do. And then people jump into the honey pot, and then I kill them. That is like my favorite strat. So
Sure.
that is what I was going for. So you could have done this. If white defends here, this leaves a weakness here. And this situation would come up like all the time. And white can't do this because then you just bust into everything. So white has to go here and then here. Now you could start attacking and like make a ko kind of situation. This is a fight. Like this is like inviting a big sprawly ko fight thing.
Which,
If
you
I
know, being my double digit Q, I just rock those. So,
but it's dangerous. I mean, I should have defended here probably. And then you play here. And then we could do this. And that's like the right thing to do, in my opinion. Like the less risky thing to do.
that does look good.
Yeah. I played the more risky but higher reward this one. Which is why when you played here, I just defended here because I was like, well, you lost your chance. I'm not letting that weakness exist anymore. I don't want to deal with that.
That's good.
Um, I think this was the first real mistake of the game
Okay.
because it's just going to get harassed to hell.
It did.
And it did. It really did. And like, I like forced you to live. Like, full this, like, there were a million times I could have killed it. Like infinite
I
times.
know. I know.
But
I know. The
but
fact
that,
that I lived, I was like, oh, that was generous of her.
yeah. But that's important to know because that means like there's probably a better place to go besides that move, right? Here's a move that I was thinking of. It's really
Yeah.
simple and
That
really
was
subtle, right? But you're expanding your territory while despanding your opponents. That's something. And then you could sector line it, right? If white does something really passive, you can just start going in. White will probably try to, defend. And you have like a really nice like little set of like reducto moves here. And it doesn't seem huge, but this is pretty big. You're knocking it down to the 5th line, right? This still exists for later, which is pretty big, right? Um, defend here. Let's say like white was passive, like design of experiments. Let's just like say for all intents and purposes, white was super passive. You got this in here. You then attacked over here. White had to defend. Something like this. Like now look at the board. Like look at how good black looks now. Like all the points here. There's some stuff in the middle. White will have to fight to just neutralize it, which is fine. This is like able to leave, and there's friends here. Black has, endgame moves at A and B. And if we estimate the score, white is ahead by 3.5 here with this like design of experiments, right? It's really subtle. It's just a reduction. You don't need to invade all the time. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, totally.
Mhm.
That admittedly was very much an experiment, and
And now we know.
yeah. Now we know.
Yeah. Because the other advantage to reducing is your stones get to be on the outside, right?
Hmm.
And if your stones are on the outside, now all of a sudden, like you have strength. Like you could develop this into. Now, when white does do the reduction moves that we knew was coming, you have stuff here to turn into something else. Whereas with an invasion, it's literally just taking away from your opponent. You can't build anything off of an invasion, but you can build stuff off of a reduction. And that's like the other hidden advantage to reductions versus invasions in certain situations. Of course, this is an idealized scenario, but like it's the idea of the thing.
Oh.
So let's take it all the way back. Yeah. So now it's really just a matter of you're just going to try to live. And now I'm the one getting the stones on the outside, not you. And now I can turn them into points later, which I did do.
Yeah.
Um, which is why a lot of times, like, you don't need to kill something to profit off of it. This is OGS Honeyed Spice. www. Or no www, just online-go.com. I'm just going to put the link in here. Boink. There you go. So that's sort of the big strategic reason reductions are pretty cool. And it's possible to be too passive with reductions, but it's also they're really strong. Like they're just pretty good. So caught that with a net, and I like the table shape. I like this. A big key point was this one. This guarantees an eye here.
Okay.
And it's in Sente too. Because if white doesn't do anything, you get this cut,
Uh-huh.
which is like brutal. Like white has too many things to defend. So not only is it Sente, it gives you an eye. White has to defend. Ah, what am I doing? And then, I mean, you can just do this and you're alive.
Okay.
Yep. Um. Yeah. So if you look at, remember, like hitting that diagonal is a big thing. Like that's a very big move for white and black. Um, Clever. I was like, oh, this is cute. This is cute. Um, I think if I went here, you'd have just killed me. Well, you could. What was I reading here? I don't know what I was reading. Maybe I could have done that. But this is Atari. And again, like, this is fine. Now you're alive. Uh well, you were trying to escape. So close too. So close to escaping.
And this
And
is what we
this
call
is
flailing.
say again.
This is what we call flailing.
Yes, I was so confused during this entire experience. I was like, what?
I just
Just play D10.
very much, yeah, just very much misreading.
I was like, all right, it's fine. It's fine. She'll connect. She'll connect now. Okay, it's fine. She'll connect now. I'm like, all right, look, I can't condone this anymore.
Yeah, like I said, this is where I was definitely starting to time control stress.
Yeah, which is fine. Like it's just funny when you watch the. I'll probably put this on my YouTube, and it'll be. My reaction was pretty funny,
Oh,
um,
thanks.
but in the best way. Like in the best
Oh,
way.
I
It's
know.
so pure.
I know. I know.
And then yeah, this was like the key thing, right? Because now this is a false eye.
Hmm.
Um, Threatened a snapback, which you saw and defended, which was great. And then I connected everything. There's nothing that could happen here. Just were you trying to like counter capture to save your group? Was like that what your
That,
mind?
yeah, there was that thought, and it was always like the move after, it's like a crap that's actually not working.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
yeah, thank you for forcing me to live.
I tried my best. I really did.
Yeah,
But the simplest things are always like the simplest principles can help you. Like what is always alive? A bent four shape, right? Like in life and death, that is always something in our life and death problems is like make a bend four. So you could just, threaten to come out and then make a bend four. And you're alive. Lickety split, you know?
yeah.
Um yeah, so I'm just shutting everything down here. And then you saw it. And I was like, yes. I like we literally all cheered. Me and Chad was like, yes! Yes, she saw it!
Yeah.
She's alive! Still alive! Uh, it was fun. So now it became if we take an estimate of the score here. All right, I'm ahead by 20, so I didn't really need to make any more points. So the goal was really just to keep you from making more points, and this was like the most potential of an area for you. So like
Mm.
I'll just reduce it. No, this is if you take one thing away from this, it's the power of reducing and turning reductions into territory later. Because like literally what I said would be good for you, like I basically did on another part of the board. Like I reduced, I got stones on the outside, and then I made points. I made a cool 3, 6, 9, 12, like 15 points.
Yeah.
Like so simply too. It's like dumb when you see it happen and then like you try to apply in your own games, you're like, I don't get it. How did this seem so easy when she was doing? Took advantage of just then I was just reducing.
Okay, so here's a quick question I know
Yeah,
you didn't really want to talk about. Back up a little bit to the capture at K11.
K11. Okay.
So would it have been like I was debating, like that probably didn't matter. Would it have been better to just maybe like L15 or something, and just again, I was just kind of stressing and didn't know what damage you might be able to cause if I didn't take that stone. But a lot of me was thinking that that probably wasn't important and I needed to just stop that reduction.
Yeah. Yeah. So I wouldn't have responded. I would have probably done something like this.
Okay.
Um, it kind of shores up a lot of this now.
Okay.
And white can't really do anything because you just Atari and take. So the only thing white could do is defend here. In which case you could just shore this up. White takes 2 stones. Not the end of the world.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
and then it's just like business as usual. So yeah, I'd ignore it. I'd ignore it.
Okay. That was, I think, a time Suji.
Mm,
So,
yeah, that's fair. Yeah. Then it was just basic endgame. Oh. This is huge.
yeah,
This
this,
is
I know. I know.
way
I
bigger.
know.
Yeah.
The moment you took advantage of it, I winced.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And this was the same thing. I was like, okay, it's fine. I'll respond and she'll figure it out and play that. I'm like, okay. I'll respond one more time. She will defend now. And then he played that. I was like, no. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. Now she'll do it. I was like, ah,
Yeah.
I can't keep letting it happen. um, so I did do it. So yeah, this is huge. Like, not only am I getting a few points, but all that's gone. And splitting your opponent in two is like so powerful. Um, Other than that, monkey jump shenanigans. I'm wondering about this. There's no way this could live or die, right? That plays here. Yeah, then that's just an eye. Yeah. That doesn't work. How about here? Okay, that works like that. What if white does this instead? Then it doesn't work. Then everything's fine. Okay, yeah, no, so that's unconditionally alive. Okay. I was worried for nothing. And then just a few little Tasujis here and there. Good defenses. Yep. And we should be about done. And then you resign. Did you just resign just because you're like, yeah, this is over?
I mean,
Yeah.
I'll say that rather than just admitting that I, didn't click in time. Yeah, it wouldn't. It was
Yeah.
just formality at that point. So,
Yeah. But I think, honestly, I
mm,
think it was a pretty good game. Like, I think just learning about reductions, don't invade. Um, so, like, try to master like reductions or use them more in your games. I really didn't see a ton of huge, big shape problems. There were some missed moves. There were some cut points you left open, but it wasn't
mm.
awful. It was really not that
that is
bad.
that is admittedly a little challenging as someone of my level because it's like you do sort of get like mixed messages. On one hand, you're kind of always told, "Oh, if your opponent is developing this big area, like you know, break it up," and like half the message seems to encourage invasions into this. And
Hmm.
is that just more a consequence of the expectation that you have the skill to be able to survive or do something with it? Versus like
That's a good
as you were
question.
saying.
Yeah. So I think there's two answers to that. I think people have strengths and they play to
Mhm,
them, right? Like if you think about Magic or a card game or other strategy games, like there's different ways to play. And there's some folks who are really good at living. Like
mhm,
they could like Chochi-kun. The man could live inside a volcano if he wanted to. Like, that man doesn't give a crap. He doesn't give a shit about anything. He will invade in the stupidest goddamn place that no one in their right mind would ever play and live. And everything's great because he's just that good. And some amateur Dawn players might be really good at that too. And that'll be what they play to. So this could be something that could work for some people. Maybe they play a super light elephant eye sabaki shape, force white to cover here, do some weird attaching things, get stuff in this direction, jump out here. Like, they just see these types of things
Yeah.
and
So,
they can execute, right?
yeah.
That also depends on your opponent's ability to attack you when you're invading them. So you might have a harder time against some people than others. My style, my specialty is attacking people that invade. That is what I play towards. I enjoy getting people to invade and then getting advantages somewhere else by attacking them. That is like my shtick. I don't like invading myself. I'm not an invader. If I'm in a game where I have to try to invade a lot, I usually am in a really losing position and I hate the experience. So I like reducing more. I think there's situations where one is more correct than the other, but I think at a certain lower level of Go, it really becomes what you're developing and like what you're trying to commit towards. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And that's it's I don't want it to be like a non-answer, but it's hard because if you're really good at Sabaki, you could probably do some really cool shit with this. Like,
Yeah.
you know?
I didn't know if, like, again, it seems sort of careless at that point because you have such a strong wall there,
Mhm.
but that is the biggest block of territory that you have. And so if I'm thinking there's a part of your territory that I need to reduce, like, that's where I'm looking toward. But as you say, it's probably also foolish not having the skill to be able to really succeed at doing it.
Yeah. And I mean, I think either one works. Hey, Battle Prez, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. I think it's so hard because Go is such the decision trees in Go are just so much, right? And it's so dependent on your opponent and you and your skill at all of these things. If we were to take an experimental game, like this is like a solved situation, is the San Rensei, more or less. We go here, here, oops, sorry. Bop, 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 bop. I see this all the time in books. Whoops.
That's creative.
Here. And then they're like, what should white do? Black has 2 walls. The best move for white is here. Like playing at the sector line, making a reduction move. There are Tsujis, like specific Tsujis, like depending on how that external fight goes, where you could take advantage of like a weakness and maybe play something here. And there could be some people that are really good at living that like do some weird crap here and like can make
Sure.
out a life. But then that corner dies. And there's players that can really take advantage of that. So reductions are good, invasions are good in certain situations, right? I would say that invading when your opponent has 2 strong things that you can't attack is often more difficult than just straight up reducing because you don't have any ability to attack something for profit.
Sure.
Like in this situation, both of my groups are so safe, you can't invade and counterattack, for example. You're literally just throwing a stone in, trying to make it live, and that's your game plan. Which,
Yes.
if this was.
Admittedly, yes.
Yeah. So, like, let's say something was different. Like, let's say. I don't know. Um, let's say you had a stone here. So you had, like. Maybe a stone. I don't like the stone being here. It's not supposed to be here. Let's do like Saz stone here, right? And then we don't even need that. Let's say that, right? Like that could be cool now
Yeah.
because now you're like attacking, and White's like, oh crap, like I have to defend this. You're like, aha, now I have a base, right? Like it's a tempo play, and you can get an invasion through a tempo play. Um, that's better than just an invasion, you know. So if you're trying to decide between invasion, you think, okay, can I? A, how confident am I that I can live in this space? B, can I attack anything through this invasion? Or am I literally just trying to reduce my enemy's territory? If you're literally just trying to take away territory, consider a reduction. Because a reduction reduces your opponent's territory and also gives you the opportunity to make your own territory in the center or somewhere else that you wouldn't have had otherwise, which can give you more stuff than an invasion. So that's like the flow chart I would use if you're trying to figure all this out.
Okay.
Cool.
Huh. Yeah.
Cool. What did that all that make sense? I know that was a lot. I just like vomit a lot of info at you.
Yeah, that's quite all right. I am gonna say, before scope creep gets too much, it's probably the broad points to have learned. I'll be content with that.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just hard. I'm so admittedly used to playing like handicap games, and so
Mm. Yeah, I
yeah.
never play handicap games.
Well, I
I
can't
always
imagine.
yeah, I'm just a power bottom for stronger players. I'm just like just beat me up. Just just do it. Just like wreck my world and I will learn. Um
Yeah. So okay.
yeah. So but
All right.
there is a time and place for handicap games.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay. Well,
yeah.
thank you so much.
Cool. Cool. Well, it was wonderful playing.
Yeah,
Thank you for
I
the
look
games.
forward to seeing your reaction on that YouTube video, and you're utterly befuddled.
Yeah,
So,
it's gonna be great.
all right.
Cool. Have a wonderful night. I'm probably gonna play some more Go. Maybe fight
All
some
right.
Pudongs.
Good luck.
Thanks. See ya.
Bye.